a speed shop doing some work on the bikes. Got a couple of customers coming down this weekend. Got one chap who's weighing up the Himalayan and the 310 GS, and then another guy who's bringing down some friends. They're going to be on the KTM 790s, and he's interested in trying the Himalayan and the CRF. So I'm just getting the two bikes ready, just making sure they're ready to go, really. The Himalayan, I had a broken rear tail light, just needed to fix that. Needed some new bolts for the handlebars because I had risers in. That's all pretty good to go. The CRF Rally needs a little bit more work, needs an oil change, filter, and also has developed a slightly annoying, you hear that? I think the rear linkage is just a bit dry. The previous owner had fitted lowering links, which I quite like, because it makes the height of the bike more manageable for the type of people I'm likely to have down. So I don't mind the lowering links, but obviously it just needs a bit of grease. So I'm just going to grease these that up now, change the oil, get ready for tomorrow. But I think these two bikes are really interesting, and it's the two bikes that a lot of people sort of weigh up. CRF 250 Rally or Himalayan, which do I get? Which do I go for? And there'll be endless internet debate about which is best, and I guess I've engaged in it in the past. You know, I've been a big fan of the Himalayan, other people have been a big fan of the CRF, and it's always a question of which is best. And I think the aim to figure out which is best almost clouds the fact that they're both good bikes, just good at different things. You know, for me, the Himalayan is just a great all-round dual-purpose machine. And I favour it simply because it's good on the road. You know, if it's straight out of the crate, it's got a decent seat. I'll just fit a cool cover to it to give it a bit more comfort. 15-litre tank. It's easy to bolt the panniers on and the aluminium luggage. You know, it's a strong subframe as standard. And so straight out of the crate, for me, it's ready to go on an adventure, a road-biased adventure. So across America, I did nothing to the bike, I just fitted the panniers. Coming back from Bulgaria last year, I did nothing to the bike, just fitted panniers. So for me, that a bike that comes out of the crate and is ready to do the road miles, and also green lanes or fire roads, off-roading to a degree, the fact that you can buy that bike for 4,000 and it'll do all that, it's always been the centre of the appeal for the Himalayan. And because most of my tours are road biased, that's why I've always favoured the Himalayan. But you look at the CRF 250 Rally, you know, and I've got good friends who love their CRF 250Ls and the Rallies, just because they're using their bikes mainly for trail, or more trail than road. And that's where the CRF really just shines in a way that maybe the Himalayan comes unstuck. You know, the Himalayan's got its natural level of competency off-road. For one, the foot pegs are always the thing to catch on the ruts. You know, you see how low they sit compared to the foot pegs on that. Probably half a foot difference in height, and then with the soft suspension, those foot pegs are quickly catching on ruts. So if you're starting to do anything more gnarly or challenging, footrests become an issue, because then you're catching your boot on the rut. Equally, you know, there's not a lot of ground clearance, probably 180 mil ground clearance compared to the CRF. So clearly, if you're going to be doing a lot of trail work, you know, it's a no-brainer really that the CRF is the better trail bike. It's about 40 kilos lighter for a start, which makes a hell of a difference. It comes with the knobblies on it, and so I think it's fantastic really that we've got two really good bikes that just differ in how they in where they're. These are my two favourite. Of the four bikes I've got, these I guess are my two favourites, just because of the versatility. I wish the Royal Enfield had got the service intervals of the Honda. The mile service intervals on the Honda is fantastic. 3,000 on the Himalayan is a bit disappointing. I think the service intervals on the Himalayan catch people out because it's 3,000 miles for a valve check. Now, I've found, the first Himalayan I sold at 20,000 miles, and I found that pretty much after the first 3,000 mile check, the valves didn't move. And checking the valves is really easy. Tank off 2 bolts. Job. And I think with any small or any single cylinder bike, stretching it out to 8,000 miles for oil change is probably a bit too much anyway. So if I was doing many miles on the CRF, I'd do a 4,000 mile change of the oil. And with the Himalayan, I'd do oil changes at 3,000. So in the real world, there's not as much difference as there is on paper. But I think if you were looking at the spec sheet and you went Honda 8,000 mile service intervals, Royal Enfield 3,000, I think it would easily steer you towards that CRF. I think the price point's interesting, you know, 5,700 now for a CRF Rally brand new. It's starting to get a little bit steep, I think. £1,500 less for the Himalayan. I think that's what shows the Honda up to be a little bit expensive. And it'll be interesting to see what happens when the CRF 300 L and Rally come out as to whether they try and pitch even higher with the price. I think, top side of £6,000, which I think they're going to aim for a 300cc trail bike like this, I think is going to be too much. And it's always interesting, Honda, there's always a deal at a Honda dealer. There's always a good deal on a CRF or a 500X. And I think when you see deals coming up often at dealerships, it generally means they've overpriced the bikes a little bit at the front end. So, there you go. I think two great bikes, as I say. If you come into me to say which would you buy, well, I think it's quite an easy decision to make. Are you doing road bias miles and bits of dirt or moderate stretches of dirt? Himalayan. Are you going to do more gnarly stuff? CRF 250. So if you're going across America mainly on the road, Himalayan. If you're going to go across America on the TAT, CRF 250. If you're going to go around Europe mainly on the roads, Himalayan. If you're going to go around Europe on the Trans-European Trail, CRF. It's pretty much as simple as that. I admire the guys, though, like Steph Jevons and Ben King, who have been around the world on the CRF, because, that must be torturous. I can manage about an hour on that seat before I'm... There we go. I'm going to oil those linkages up, grease those linkages up, change the oil. Himalayan's ready to go, and then hopefully dry weather tomorrow. I'm just looking at it. Have you still got the 850 TT? Yes, I have still got the 850 TT. It didn't sell, so I've still got it. And then the dealers have discounted the arse out of them. So you can get a brand new one. I think Colchester, Kawasaki were doing brand new ones for £9,000, which is 2,000 off list. So, yeah. I think that's always a problem buying a new bike, that when winter comes and they discount them. Always happens with KTM. A 1290 KTM Adventure, 15 grand to begin with. Come winter, 11. And it's not good for a resale value. Anyway, all right, over and out. Take it easy. Cheers.